Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 21. We'll be continuing our Moto 3 career mode, round 2, here in the Termas de Rio Hondo circuit of Argentina. Back-to-back pole positions for Grant, Rodrigo and Binder on the front row with Masia, Garcia and McPhee, Alcoba, Mino and Antonelli, Artigas, Suzuki and Toba, Sasaki, Yamanaka, Guevara, Acosta, Anchu, Foggia, Fenati, Koffler, Tatai, Dupasquier, Fallon, Salach, Fernandez, Nepa, Farad, Izdihar, Rossi and Yuki Kuni at the back of the grid. So without further ado, let's crack on with the race. Grant in pole position, waiting for the red lights to go out for round 2, and away they go! Brilliant start yet again from the rookie. Magnificent in Qatar, magnificent again here in Argentina so far. Brilliant start, taking pole position in qualifying yesterday. Gabriel Rodrigo getting really close to the back of Grant now. Rodrigo give him the big don't argue, shoved him wide into turn 1. Many riders made their way through. Mino looks like he gave a little bit of a kick to Jeremy Alcoba on the right hand side there. Now breaking into the very tight left-hander of turn 2. Alcoba goes round the outside, Mino, Antonelli, everyone's there. The Sepang Racing International boys are there as well. John McPhee, Darren Binder doing well so far. Brilliant start from Gabriel Rodrigo, the home man. He would love to taste that home cooking and celebrate with a victory here in the Argentina track. Using power setting 2, we're not going to go full balls to the wall like we didn't do in Qatar. The same strategy will be applied as we now brake very late for the deep right-hander of turn 5. Everyone seems to go wide. Here is a contacts made there from Kaito Toba. Bit of a shove there as Xavi Artigas now dives up on the inside. He's alongside Kaito Toba. The rookie Pedro Acosta there is in 10th place as well. Can he go around the outside of the championship leader? Not quite. The championship leader still holds strong. Now breaking into the very tight right-hander, braking early, braking gently. Bit of a bump there from the rear. Alcoba, Sasaki. Acosta's all there, getting right on the tail of the championship leader, not letting him get into the pack. Really bullying him now. That's what they've got to do. He was really good in Qatar. You know he has the speed in the practice and qualifying sessions. He can't afford to let him get to the front and disappear into the distance. And so far, they're doing a grand job. So it's a bit of 2 different trains now. You've got the top 9 there in front of us as Grant gets his first track limit warning of the race. Be careful of that one. You don't want to be going onto the outside of the track, touching the grass, touching the green. It's not what we need as we brake early into turn 13. A contact made there with Pedro Acosta slamming into the rear of the Husqvarna of Grant. Dodgy move there from Pedro Acosta, but he was eager to get through. As Acosta now moves up into 10th place. Not the race for him in race 1 in Qatar. Hopefully he can change things, amend things here today in race 2 for Argentina. And in turn 1, things calm down just a little bit. Ever so slightly as Pedro Acosta is in the way of Grant. We'll be trying to have a lunge up on the inside and where we can. Potentially into turn 5 after the long straight. Getting closer and closer. Acosta, can't we go around the outside here? Are we brave enough? Let him cut it through and get the cut back. Brilliant move. Little bit of contact made there. Rubbing is racing. You know it goes in Moto 3. Absolute chaos. Chopping and changing positions all the time. We absolutely adore it. This is why it's one of the best sports in the world. There's now Pedro Acosta goes up on the inside. Will Acosta have the speed? Will he have the strength on the brakes? You bet you he will. Up on the inside of Grant. Shows the championship leader what he's made of. Rookie versus rookie stuff so far. Gotta say, rookie versus rookie is what you like to see. But I don't know. They don't really look like rookies, do they? Years of experience and veteran presence, I would say. As we now break into the next corner. Contact made there between 2 rookies. Rubbing his racing, as already mentioned. Going up on the inside, giving him the big block pass there. Don't let him get through. Don't let him get ahead of us. As we now have the speed. We still haven't jumped into power setting 3. Still saving a lot of that just in case. And I'm pleased to see even without the aid of power setting 3, we are still right within reach of a podium, I would say. Of course, there is a long lap left to go. Or a long race to go, should I say. On the rear of Antonelli in a moment's time. Careful accelerating around the left-hander there because it is easy to fire too much power into the rear tyre and cause it to slide. Now into the right-hander of turn 13. Manages to catch my breath just a little bit as Antonelli gets ahead of us. Antonelli's still there actually, he's in 9th place, so a pretty decent result as Grant says the fastest lap of the race so far. A 1:49.922 from the British rider. Excellently executed around the outside of the Avintia KTM from Nicola Antonelli. Brilliant stuff so far. John McPhee is hoping for a better race, and so is Xavi Artigas than they did in Qatar. Of course, no points on offer for John McPhee as he crashed out early in the race. I don't believe he managed to get back on the motorcycle and retain any points. So for now, we'll get past the fellow British rider. Kaito Toba's there as well. He's the responsible man for pushing me wide earlier on into turn 5. So we haven't forgot about that. We'll certainly be attacking him in a moment's time. Xavi Artigas on the right-hand side there. He's doing pretty well in 6th place. Toba looks like he's going to get him on the brakes and around the outside, potentially, as Artigas runs it in a little bit deep. They all run it in a bit deep. Grant was the only one who was pretty smooth there, pretty precise. Brilliant stuff from there from the British rider. Now up in the rear tyre of Sergio Garcia. Andrea Mino's there as well. Gabriel Rodrigo, the home man, coming up at the inside of all 3 of them. Oh, I definitely thought about it though. It's too early to have lunges and risks like that. As we go a little bit wide there. Surprised no additional long lap penalty track limits warning was given. So pleased to see that for us. As we now go into the left-hand side of the tyre for turn 9. Flick it right to turn 10. You can go on the rumble strip there if you want to, but as noticed in the practice session yesterday, the rumble strip in this track are a little bit treacherous sometimes. So proceed with caution if you happen to go on there, I would say. Great race for Sergio Garcia right now. He has a chance of a podium as he dives up in the inside of Gabriel Rodrigo. Not quite. He certainly had a lunge. He thought about a lunge, but we have a lunge as well. Up at the inside of Garcia. Contact made there between the 2 riders. Mino's there as well. Brilliant stuff so far as we cross the line. The fastest lap of the race is still not touched yet. Of course, that was a 1:49.922 set on the lap prior from Matt Grant. Dr. Ace, as you guys know him as. Going up at the inside of turn 1 of Andrea Mino. Mino ran it a little bit wide there. He's going to lose the ground on the exit. But of course, he can still fight back. This is a long, long race yet. Many more laps to come. Although it is flying very, very quick. I've not even noticed the lap times just dissipating into the distances now. Gabriel Rodriguez, a good old look behind him. That was a bit of a mistake. Should be focusing on the action ahead of him, not so much behind, because he needs to focus on trying to get down, or at least to chase down Jama Masia and Darren Binder. Darren Binder looking menacing. Jama Masia looked like he wanted to get away as we take a beautiful shot of the other riders there. A really nice look at the other riders there. I really like that. You even see my wonderful helmet and number as well as we run it wide into turn 5. It's not too bad because the other guys tend to do that as well. But as we now go into the change of direction for the left-hand side, Sergio Garcia Mino was very close to me but wasn't able to get through. Gabriel Rodrigo lost a couple of positions there from the slipstream of Sergio Garcia and Andrea Mino. As we now break into the tight right-hander, dropping it down to about 100 kilometers per hour, down into 3rd gear. I did finally remember to change that now to miles per hour, so the next couple of videos will be miles per hour. Then we'll be flicking it left in a moment's time for turn 9. Nicely done. We're going to go wider line here and then go onto the rumble strip, or near enough to. And then get onto the left-hand side of the tyre again. Keep an eye on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen there. You will see as this race progresses, the rear tyre will take a hounding in that particular corner. Still no sign of the brakes getting hot or cold. I think I've just gone working at an optimum temperature. So I'm pleased for that one so far. As we now go into turn 13. Massey and Binder pushing each other very wide there. Would prefer to see them take a tighter line. Probably why they're losing so much ground. As we were pretty good on that lap there. We were only about 50,000th of a second away from our fastest lap of the race. But of course, that's not what we're trying to do right now. We're just trying to chase down Massey and Darren Binder. But in the same process, getting the fastest lap would mean we're getting closer and closer to the Red Bull KTM rider and the Petronas Sprinter rider. So now get onto the left-hand side of the tyre now. Dropping it into 2nd gear just to give us that extra oomph coming out of the corner. 90 kilometers an hour, skyrocketing up to about 136 kilometers an hour. Hold it on the right-hand side of the tyre, accelerate smoothly, accelerate aggressively as you then get into the point of putting up the motorcycle straight. So it's smooth acceleration, bike straight, and then go straight through. Look at the speed! The Husqvarna now into the lead yet again, just like in Qatar. Of course, we had a magnificent, somewhat photo finish for Moto 3 in Qatar. Hopefully we'll have something very similar today, but we do feel like we have the speed here. Grant looks impervious today. He looks so good, especially after getting beaten up early on in the race. And as you've seen, a quick look to the right-hand side there, using the analog stick so I can see where other riders are. Jama Masia leaning on us now. Will he have the strength to break up at the inside of us here for turn 7? Oh, I almost said 5. Brilliant move from Masia. And then contact again. Oh, a little bit of a rub. Rubbing is racing. You know how it goes. Darren Binder. We could have a lunge up in the inside of Darren. Ooh. I definitely wanted to do the old dive bomb Darren to dive bomb Darren. That would have been beautifully known, beautifully apt, as we now go to the left-hand side for turn 11. Darren Binder, he seems to gain an extra bit of a gear there, or extra bit of speed coming out to turn 11 there. We now get onto this slipstream of him. We can brake extremely late here. drop it down to second gear, even to first gear if you want to. Of course, we went really wide there for turn 13. So now flick it left to turn 14, and across the line we go, getting closer and closer. That was a slower lap for us. Of course, we did get involved with a bit of skirmishing between Darren Binder and Giammasia. Things have calmed down a little bit. It's turned into more of a game of chess right now, as Binder is trying to make a crucial break. Quite early to make a break, I would say. Still got many laps of this Grand Prix remaining, so I probably wouldn't advise that. But if he feels he has the speed, then why not? He's now flick it into second gear, flick it back up to third gear because that was a little bit too high of revs for the second gear. So we now flick it to the right hand side. We'll get a lot of speed coming out of this corner, right on the rear tail of Giammasia now. The Red Bull KTM doesn't quite have the same speed. It's going to be alongside. No, he does. I'll give him that. He certainly does. Unless he bumped it up to power setting 3, which of course we can't tell. We're still in power setting 3 for the time being. Traction control setting is on 2. Or excuse me, is on 3. It was in 2, I do believe, but I decided to change it to 3 for the race. So I want to try and at least retain some tyre life as we get up at the inside of Giammasia. That is a beautifully executed move. Giammasia didn't even see that coming. He went a little bit wide into that corner again, though. That's the problem. As we now get closer and closer to Darren Binder. It was about a second gap, and now it's down to about 4 tenths down, so it's 6 tenths of a second. As Giammasia makes that wonderful lunge up at the inside of turn 7. He has been brutal on the brakes there. Really good. Last of the late breakers for Giammasia as we get back ahead of him. And we'll get it onto the left-hand side of the tyre for turn 9. Beautifully executed. Beautifully. I don't think Giammasia's got the same speed to match us there. He certainly hasn't. He's down by 2 tenths of a second, considering he was just with us a moment ago. On the left-hand side of the tyre again, it's for this beautiful clockwise circuit. We still go on the left-hand side of the tyre for quite a heavy chunk. We take another look at the wonderful liveries, number and helmet combination I've got. Darren Binder a little bit wide there as well, so when we get the cut back onto turn 14, we should get right on his tail now. Careful of going onto the off the track there and abusing the track limits. Fastest man on track so far, a 1:49.658 for the young British rider. The World Championship leader, the winner of Qatar. Back-to-back pole positions. Can he make it back-to-back victories here today? We're right on the rear tail of Darren Binder now. Do we have a dive bomb? Here it comes. Up on the inside to turn 2. Beautifully done. Darren Binder fights back. Beautifully done from Binder. Didn't panic, didn't fear. Let Grant get through and then fought back immediately. Brilliant stuff from Darren Binder. The South African doing everything right so far, but he can't get away. He wanted that crucial break, but he just can't get it, and now we're in the slipstream. Darren Binder on the Petronas Sprinter Honda is going to be beaten in a moment's time. Husqvarna into the lead yet again, using the speed of this Husqvarna. Beautifully done, the KTM bike with the Husqvarna chassis, of course. Now I'll take a look to our right-hand side, or at least I wanted to. I didn't for the time being, as Darren Binder is now down by 2 tenths of a second. Can he fight back? It's now a 10th and a half. He's in the slipstream. You know he'll have a lunge up into turn 7 if he's close enough. Oh, a little bit out of shape there on the brakes. Darren Binder goes up at the inside. Dive bomb, Darren. Beautifully timed from Darren Binder. Waited for me to have that little bit of an early break. I have been braking very early there. Just want to make sure I get the corner right. And then Darren Binder showed why he's called the dive bomb, as we completely make a hash of turn 9. Let go on the green, just let it go. And then regroup, refocus, and start attacking again. Big mistake there from Grant. He lost a lot of ground. It's well over 1.5 seconds to Darren Binder now. But Giammasia is ahead of us by just 5 tenths of a second. Of course, we will be abusing his slipstream in the next couple of corners. Now on the right hand side for turn 13, get ready to flick it left for turn 14 for the 8th time of asking. Beautifully done, or the 7th time of asking, should I say, as it's now lap 8. Giammasia in front of us, but for how long? Coming around the outside of the Red Bull KTM rider. Akiayo is very pleased with his performance so far. He was very good in Qatar, but of course didn't manage to take the victory, as Husqvarna rider Grant had that extra bit of power to get through on the slipstream right at the end. And again on the left hand side for turn 2. Darren Binder ahead, 8 tenths of a second. South African looking menacing. He's looking like he wants to make that break again. Don't think he can. Shout to John McPhee for having a decent race in 4th place. They are close enough to have a go at this podium, though. It's definitely the battle for 1st, 2nd and 3rd between Giammasia, Binder and Grant. Very similar story to what we had in Qatar. You've got to look at these 3 men as being the favourites. The championship favourites, probably. The 3 championship protagonists, you could very well say. Binder runs it in a little bit hot. Sort of followed him into that one. So he'll now use extra speed. Heading into turn 6, down to the fat part of the tyre temporarily, then we go onto the left-hand side of the tyre for turn 6. up to 6th gear, 210 kilometers an hour, dropping it down to 5th gear, 4th gear, 120 kilometers, taking 2nd gear for 100 kilometers an hour. Brilliant entry into that corner for turn 8. Turn 7 rather, turn 8 is this one, turn 9 in a moment's time. Getting closer and closer, Darren Binder drops it down in too many gears there, as you heard the bike screaming back practically. Too high ever revs for this Husqvarna. So we've been somewhat quite smooth so far. We haven't actually abused the track in any way. We've only had that one instance of taking track limits. So I'm pleased to see that, because of course we don't want the dreaded long lap penalty. That's the scary thought of when seeing those lines on the bottom right hand corner of your screen there filling up. Once the yellow line fills up and we get 5, that's the long lap penalty. Has been flicking on the left hand side. That's a magnificent lap. That is another fastest lap of the race for Grant. That is a 1:49.494. Darren Binder, he cannot fight against this. He is trying his best to break away as we go round the outside of the South African, but the South African holds well. Binder in charge still for the time being, but he does not get the same drive that we did. We got much better drive. We get right in front of him there, practically cut his nose off. Has Darren Binder succumbed to 2nd place? Is he going to lose the fight to Grant? Will he take back-to-back victories here today? Qatar, Argentina, just like the pole positions. I'd love to make it a double. Really lead this championship with style, finesse and pizzazz. As we're up by 0.18 to 0.15. Darren Binder's still there. He's roughly in the slipstream, so he will get the speed, but of course he isn't actually getting in the slipstream. He's still trying to go it alone. We've gone a little bit wide here for turn 5 as Darren Binder makes the dive bomb. A brilliant move again, but we will have the change of direction. We'll get up on the inside of him in a moment's time. Getting closer and closer. 2 men looking like they're going to collide in a minute's time. Not close enough. Oh, abused the track limit a little bit there as well. Careful of that one. That's feeling the pressure from Darren Binder that he's pushing on us right now. We've run it wide into turn 7. That's not ideal. Another track limit warning now. Things are getting difficult. Things are heating up. Getting up on the inside in a moment's time. Can we? Brilliant move up the inside of turn 9. We take the lead. Oh, Binder fights back. Binder gets stopped. Oh, brilliant. Binder and Grant pushing as hard as possible. The South Africa versus the British rider getting really into it now. Heating up quicker than a Bunsen burner. We're really getting into it now. Binder's had to succumb to 2nd place temporarily. He's lost 0.5 of a second. He lost so much time on that change of direction to the right-hand side just by getting held up in the corner. And that's another track limits warning. Oh, we're off the track again. Long lap penalty. Long lap penalty for the championship leader. Oh, no. Getting too much into it with Darren Binder has now forced us into a massive mistake. We have a long lap penalty. We have a long lap penalty, I repeat. Goodness me. We're up by 0.7 of a second. We're going to have to really be smart about this now. If you watched the practice session yesterday, I did take the long lap penalty just to get used to it because it was part of the objectives. So I'm pretty well aware of how to take it, but we got to make sure we do it right. Because if we go into the long lap penalty and just clip the outside of the track, you have to do it again. So we're going to just push like mad now, get away from Darren Binder. We have 4 laps, effectively, 4.5 laps, 5 laps, something like that to do it in. So let's see as we get closer and closer. We'll get our first notification in a minute's time. It'll warn us to do the long lap penalty. Let's see how many laps it gives us, because I don't want to take it yet. To stay within 4 laps, we've got to do it in 4 laps, guys. Oh my goodness, this has gone crazy. Grant with the long lap penalty. Does he go for it here? He does not. He holds back. Darren Binder in 2nd place will be waiting and waiting. He won't know about the long lap penalty yet. Of course, he would have seen Grant abusing the track limits a couple of times because he was behind. But we'll soon see, because Jamamastia is hoping to take some spoils as well if he can. Darren Binder, though, we have managed to... Oh my goodness, we've got a 1.4 second gap now, just by absolutely getting our head down and going for it. We're really pushing now. Look at the tyre degradation. That'll be... They won't be like that in a couple of laps' time, let me assure you. As we now brake very hard for turn 13. Getting onto the fat side of the tyre, of course. Pushing as much as we can. We're going to have to go for it now. Across the line, this might be a fastest lap of the race. It is indeed. It's a 1:49.471. That is a brilliant lap time. Our fastest laps have all been very similar times, but just been a few increments quicker. We are still in power setting 2 as well, ladies and gentlemen. We could ump it up to power setting 3, and we still have plenty of fuel left for it, so maybe I'll do that. We have a 2-second lead, and I would probably guess we would lose around 2 seconds by taking the long lap penalty. And considering Argentina's probably got the most gentle of long lap penalties, it doesn't look that brutal compared to some of the others. Like Aragon, you lose so much time in Aragon for taking the long lap penalty. Brno was a great one, like what Johan Zarco demonstrated last year. He was brilliant and superb in that one, he just nailed it. And of course in here, it doesn't look too bad. It looks like we can get through there and only lose maybe 1.5 to 2 seconds. So the gap is now 2.5, 2.4, roughly around there. We'll soon see. I'm thinking I might take it now or probably do another lap. I'm not sure. Oh my goodness. Massive questions to be asked here. Darren Binder's in second place. He's just holding back now. Do we go for it now? Not quite. I definitely thought about it, but we're not going for it yet. We've got 3 more laps to do it in. Let's continue pushing. Let's push with everything we've got. Get this lead as big as possible. Chuck in some more fast laps of the race. And then we will chuck in for the long lap penalty. Goodness me. Things have just changed dramatically here. Now, I did have the speed just to get away anyway. But I didn't want to just do that. I wanted to make it entertaining and interesting. So, of course, this has given us a whole new different perspective. The long lap penalty is forcing me now to push it really, really hard and go as fast as we can, so then we can get through the long lap penalty and still be in the lead. So we'll flick it left now for turn 14, across the line we go. That is a 1:48.838, that is a phenomenal lap time, especially considering how degraded those tyres are. They aren't looking too grand, they're certainly looking the worst for wear, as we're now into turn 1, up by a couple of tenths of a second already, just by pushing into power setting 3 earlier on, and now going into the left-hander. It's going to look, it's difficult. We're going to have to really go for it in a second. My biggest fear is that I try and take the long lap penalty too quickly and then don't actually sustain it properly, so we then might have to do it again. So it's going to be a tough one. I'm thinking I might go for it here. We have quite an advantage. I'm on power setting 3 now, carrying a lot of speed, going up to the very, very tight and deep braking zone of turn 5. Yeah, I think, considering we're up by almost 4 seconds, we'll probably lose around 2 seconds to 1.5, potentially 2.5 seconds in the long lap penalty. I think now's the time to do it, because if we leave it too late and we mess it up, we'll be black flagged. So we're going to have to do it here. Brake early, carry a lot less speed, go in there quite gentle, go into power setting 2 for this one. Careful, oh my goodness, I almost went off the touch. I touched the white line there. This is brilliant amount of speed, actually. We're doing it really well. We lost 1.5 seconds, that's brilliant. We lost roughly, maybe 2 seconds actually. That's very impressive. Yeah, we didn't even, oh brilliant. We've got this. Let's just chuck in the fast lap times. That is superb. That is how you tackle the long lap penalty, ladies and gentlemen. That was brilliant. I'm really, really pleased with that one. Darren Binder, I thought he would probably end up stealing it from us. Well, he's only 2 seconds behind, so we shouldn't get too far ahead of ourselves. And of course, if we still abuse the track limits again, we'll have to go in for another long lap penalty. So we don't want to be doing that. Let's take it a bit easier now. Of course, we've done the hardship. We did lose around 2 seconds concerned to the fastest lap time of the race just a moment ago. Well, I'm not mad at that. And considering your average race lap that I was doing was about a 1:49, 1:50, it's only about a second and a bit. So that is not bad. I'm very pleased with that one. If you want to take the long lap penalty, I suggest you do it like that. Put that in the DrAce archive of the long lap penalties. Going into turn 3 with a massive lead. Now, I do apologise if the rest of the race is not going to be so exciting, but I guess now it's just focusing on the Grand Prix, focusing on putting in those fast lap times. I'll probably continue to push to see if I can beat the fastest lap of the race, but I'm probably not so sure now. The tyres are heavily degraded, and we're going to go a little bit wide into turn 5. But another great battle. Really pleased with this one. So actually, by the way, guys, I needed to ask, let me know what you want to do for the race lengths. This is currently on 75%, so it's got 15 laps out of the usual 21 or 22. I can do 50%, and I probably won't do anything less than that because it's probably a little bit too short. But let me know what you want to do. If you prefer the longer races, or you can even do 100%, let me know in the comment section down below. I am eager to see your opinions and see what you think. And I hope you're really enjoying this career mode. I am having an absolute blast. Now, the last time I really thought the best work of my commentary was the MotoGP 20 Classic Championship with Kevin Schwantz. I think this career mode is going to surpass that, absolutely. I am really enjoying this right now. MotoGP 21 is really good. I'm very much pleased. Very pleased. Very much impressed. So I will be doing the MotoGP 21 review tomorrow as well. If you can't tell already, I am thoroughly enjoying it. So we've abused the track limits once again. For goodness sake, we have to be careful with that one. Only got 2 more laps remaining. This penultimate lap, we can't afford to be getting on the outside of the track again. Well, a review coming tomorrow, so stay tuned for that one. If you can't tell already, my appraisal for this game is already very high. We now go on the left-hand side of the tyre for the final 2 times. So this is the second to final time of doing it. John McPhee's in 5th place, not the best result for him. I did expect to see him featured on the podium by now. Of course, Darren Binder, Masia, Mino, McPhee, Garcia, Rodrigo and Toba is your top 8. Pretty competitive so far. I haven't seen much changing though, it's merely a downfall. I've not seen many names changing on the left hand side of the screen, but again, maybe I haven't been paying attention too much. Of course, I've been focusing on our rider here, Grant, who is going into turn 5 with a very, very quick race pace so far. Actually, he's going even quicker considering how those tyres are looking right now. By the end of this one, we could well and truly be over by 5 seconds of a lead. That's how much we're pushing, and I think that's probably a testament to how easy it is in Moto 3. I've not really found any difficulty with Moto 3. The bikes feel fantastic. They feel really, really good. They feel like they're glued to the track, which I guess they probably would feel like that. Because you see them in the race, they're all taking exactly the same line, they're all moving the same way. We're now going to turn 9. Careful of not messing this one up like we did earlier on, when we were against John McPhee. Darren Binder. Against the South African, of course. That's probably one of the best battles we've had yet. And of course, the magnificent finish in Qatar as well, which was just so good. I'm very pleased to be featuring another good battle here today. Not so much the battle with the other riders, but the battle with the long lap penalty. That certainly made it interesting. And we're on an incredible lap here. Across the line we go. We get a 1:47.898. That is ridiculous. On this stage of the race, with these tyres, we chuck in a 1:47.898. That would have decimated the pole position lap time. That is unbelievable. I really, really feel confident on this bike. Really do. I'm really enjoying it. I'm so pleased I picked the Husqvarna because I've never been with the Husqvarna team before in MotoGP. So I'm pleased to say that we're doing something different, at least on this final lap. On the right-hand side of the tyre for turn 3 for the final time of asking. We're actually up by another 10th here. So we could probably get another faster lap time. Probably do a little bit of showboating towards the end of the lap. So of course that's what you have to do, of course. That's how it goes in MotoGP, or at least it does for me anyway. You gotta, if you're winning by 7 seconds in a Moto 3 race, you have enough time to wave to the crowd, right? Technically you should never showboat because you never know what could happen. But still, we are pushing for another fast lap time. We're up by 1/10 of a second, so could very well be another quick lap time. But even with a bit of showboating, I still think it'll be a very fast lap time. The gap is now up to 7 seconds over Darren Binder. So either Binder's tyres let go on him, or he's just given up and decided I'm going to take second. I don't think Jammasi is that far behind him, so we could see some chopping and changing towards the end of the lap, potentially, but maybe not for now anyway. I'm not entirely sure. As we're now up by 7.5 tenths of a second. Beautifully done. So we didn't abuse the track limits again, very pleased to say. We did lose a little bit of time just briefly there in the left-hand side of the tyre. And now breaking into the final corner. Turn 13 to be navigated. Turn 14 in a moment's time. Stand up and salute Grant again as he takes back-to-back victories here in Argentina. So another terrific victory for Grant as he wins this race by a whopping 5.5 seconds over Darren Binder. Jammasi on the podium and John McPhee misses out by around 2 seconds. Championship standings are as shown. 50 points for Grant as he takes the full 50, the full 100% of points. Binder in second place is 17 points behind, and Masia trails by 18. Now we look at the team championship. Sterol Garda Max Racing Team is 7 points ahead of Petronas Sprinter Racing. Red Bull KTM Iowa joint second, also trailing by 7 points. So guys, another magnificent race for us. Victory again, back-to-back victories. The full points on offer for us again. Awesome stuff. Even with the long lap penalty included, we take victory in quite dominating style. So guys, as always, thanks for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload. And upon that note guys, thanks for watching and ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.